Okay, Saturday morning, farmer's market. This is different. Attracting a lot of attention. What's your name?
Chris LeBlanc.
Chris LeBlanc, parle français?
Ah ouais.
Ah ouais, ouais. Ici bien.
Je suis à Tracadie-Shire tout de suite. C'est moi qui a le titre d'être l'expert des Bricklands au Nouveau-Brunswick.
Ah ouais?
J'ai fait un film sur Malcolm Bricklin en 2004.
You speak English. The majority of my listeners on my blog are English.
Well, that's it. Tracadie-Shire is a bilingual place.
Yeah.
My name's Chris LeBlanc. I'm from Tracadie-Shire. And I consider myself to be sort of the Bricklin expert in New Brunswick.
Oh yeah.
So when they came up with the idea of doing...
It was a close one there, huh? Can you imagine? Go ahead.
So when they got the idea, Tim and the boys at the Playhouse got the idea to make a musical about the Bricklin, I thought that was very appropriate, and they pulled it off last night really well.
Yeah.
Went good.
A lot of people.
Yeah, full house. The Governor General was there, and
the what?
Governor General was there.
Lieutenant Governor?
Lieutenant Governor, yeah.
Graydon Nicholas?
What's his name? Yeah, Mr. Nicholas. Yep. And Mr. Allward was there.
What, Allward was there?
Yeah, he was taking notes on how to be a Hatfield.
He was.
But I don't know if the New Brunswick government today could build a car like the Bricklin. I mean, they had a hard time bringing in NB Power and all that stuff. So I mean, today it's a different thing.
But the government could announce that they were going to build a new Bricklin, then as usual change their mind about
well, that's it.
4 months later.
But I mean, Hatfield changed his mind after they built almost 2,865 cars. So I mean.
You
couldn't build something this good looking today. I mean, today's politics are so homogenized and they're boiled down, and it's all about, you know, internet and whatever. So
Hatfield is lucky the internet was in effect.
Hatfield is lucky nobody had any phone pictures.
We're not going to go into details, but maybe if we had the internet, Hatfield would have been a little bit more careful.
But that's it. That's the whole idea of the 70s being the 70s, and now today everything's so scrutinized.
You got to be a saint if you want to run.
Back then you had Hatfield, you had Nixon, you had Trudeau. These guys, they ruled by the seat of their pants, and it gave some interesting results, and the Bricklin is one of those, and so many other things.
As a matter of fact, I was just looking at YouTube this morning, Trudeau, when he said, just watch me. Just watch me, man. I think that's what Hatfield said. I think he said, just dream with me a little bit, and I think they did. And, you know, 35 years later, this sucker's still around. Yeah, it's still around.
It's in top shape. It's, you know, it's good for 400 years.
Does that belong to you?
Yeah, it's mine. Actually, I bought it from the Irving family.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you had to ruin the interview now. You had to ruin it.
That's it.
But that's okay. You're LeBlanc. We got to speak the truth.
It's historical. It's historical.
Okay. Which Irving?
I think it was not Jack.
Not Jack.
I think it was Arthur. Arthur owned this car.
Arthur?
Yeah.
Arthur owned this?
Yeah.
Really? And how much he sold it for?
The Irvings had 3 Bricklins. They bought them in 1975, summer of 75. And they would have Irving girls with the caps and the little white boots and the skirt drive the cars all around the province, servicing Irving stations and doing I don't know what.
Really?
So yeah.
Because Hatfield was in power then.
Yeah.
And that's the reason they were doing it.
And at that time, I think, you know, I don't think Irving was involved in the project, but I think he wanted to, you know, encourage the idea of building something new in New Brunswick. I think they were putting the new in Brunswick at the time. That was the spirit.
Now, what was it again? It was built in St. John, and the pieces were all over the place?
Well, Minto did the body panels, and they would ship them down to St. John, and the assembly plant was in St. John.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good paying job. I think it was $22 an hour.
Wow.
So back in '75, that was some big coin.
How many did he build again?
They built 2,865. The car was featured in Playboy magazine. It was a prize on The Price is Right. Evel Knievel had one, and so did John Holmes, the porn star, who did 2 porns with the car. One was Erection, and the other one was Up, Up and Away.
Listen.
And Hatfield was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
He was?
Talking about the car.
Yes.
So, I mean, it was a glamorous thing for a little province like New Brunswick to be, you know, in some big parties at Studio 54 in New York City, and Hatfield could talk about the car and say that New Brunswickers weren't dipsticks, you know, working in the woods and fishermen and all this. This was something new.
Listen, I've been through a lot of experience in my life.
Any chance to go around the block with this baby? You're driving, of course.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go pick up something at the market.
Are you? Maybe afterward?
Yeah. Because it's
I never
refuse anybody in New Brunswick a ride in the Brickland because everybody's paid for it through their taxes. So it's.
You're still paying?
Technically, it's everybody's car.
They're still paying?
I think the 23 million was probably paid off in 1985. It probably took 10 years to pay it off.
But life is a gamble, right?
Life's a gamble. If you're not going to play, you're not going to win. I mean, so they played to win and they sort of lost. But today we can look back at it and say, well, they actually had a pretty good idea. And I don't think anything as innovative has come along since 1975.
Yeah.
Lord hasn't done anything. Sean hasn't done anything.
David Howard took some notes last night, so yeah.
That's it. I mean, I think it still will go down in history as one of the greatest things that ever was built.
Failure accomplishment. How's that?
It's an attempt, and I think the attempt was very spirited, and I think it should not be taken as a cautionary tale. I think it should be used as an example of what we could do and what we should finish.
What happened if you have the engine breaks down? What happens there?
It's a 351 Ford. I go down to my Ford dealership and get the parts.
That's it? Simple.
I've had more problems with my Honda than with my brake lamp. The only thing I've replaced on this car is the tires, the battery, the spark plug. That's it.
Merci beaucoup.
Pas trop.
À la prochaine.
Minuvara Takadisha.
Oui.
Yes.